Hello there, everyone, and welcome to a bonus episode of the Overcast. Um, things are going to be handled a little bit differently this time. Me and Nick are here, and Brooksy is also technically here, but he's having audio issues, so he's here via text chat. Um, we're going to be doing a Spoilercast episode for season 2 of Hazbin Hotel, and we're going to handle it like usual. We're going to do our normal spoiler free thoughts first and then a rating and then we'll transition over to the spoilers. And so Brooksy only being able to participate through text, I will be reading his thoughts when he provides them in the chat. So he is technically here. He's just his microphone is not working for some reason. So we're having technical difficulties, but we're gonna make it work. Nick, however, is here in vocal form.
Yes, I am here. Hey, hi, everybody.
Yes, and you know he has thoughts. So,
Yes. Oh, boy, do I.
boy howdy, he says. So, we're gonna start off with the spoiler-free thoughts. And the first thing I want to say is, I feel like the show. I've said this before on the podcast too. First couple episodes, the season hit the ground running. Like, phenomenal stuff, like right out the gate. I was really happy with the first 2 episodes. Um, my overall thoughts, though, is that there's some pacing issues with this season. Because it wasn't like. See, you may remember for the first season, I said that I felt like it kind of started off rough, but then got really good around episode 4, and that's when it really picked up and then just skyrocketed from there. This season for me was kind of like great start, and then it kind of dips, and then it goes up, and then it dips again, and goes up again. I feel like there's a couple episodes in the season that are basically just filler. Like their whole thing could have been condensed into one episode on its own, and the finale feels a little rushed as a result, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
I, I think some of there was some issues with the pacing. Uh, I feel like they could have expanded more on things that they expanded on from season 1. For all, that's honestly the only complaint I have.
Brooksy in the chat says, I did have major issues on the pacing. For me, it kind of felt like they thought they were getting another season from Amazon, not multiple seasons, so they spaced it out way too much. Like, it felt like the whole season could have been summarized in 3 episodes for me. I agree.
Jeez.
I agree with all of that, except for the last part. I think my problem is I think it actually needed more breathing room, not less, because it's because there's 2 episodes in the season that are essentially a waste of time that time could have been spent better on the more important stuff they were trying to do. Um, Maybe the finale wouldn't have felt so rushed if they actually had, like, the episode with the Danny Dubad nonsense and all that, and then like the episode
Daddy do bad.
the episode where Charlie the episode where Charlie goes on the news. Like, the only good part of that entire episode is Nifty's song. That one is otherwise like, yeah, that's a fun song. That's a good song,
This.
but those 2 episodes in particular stand out to me as filler episodes that, like, both of them could have been condensed into one episode. Um, but Brooksy says that's the most iconic song for him the whole season. Nifty for the win. No, great. I love the
Love
fact that
Nifty.
she's the same voice actor as Penny Parker from the Spider-Verse movies. Um, my my thing, and we'll get more into details in this in the spoilers, but my favorite plot line of the whole season is the basically something that's kind of happening in the background, but it's very smart, and it's the fact that Alistair is playing 5D chess with Vox the
Yeah.
whole season.
Yeah. He sure fucking did.
Yeah. And that is some brilliant stuff. There is, again, without going into too much detail, something I really liked about this season is that we got more backstory on some of the characters in their human iterations
Yes.
when they were on Earth.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Um, a lot
One of
of
the
people,
songs was even in one of their human forms.
yes, yes. Um, Now we can talk about spoilers for season one here because we wouldn't be talking about season two otherwise. And I will say, a lot of people complain. I've seen a lot of people complain about Charlie's character shift in this season, like her going completely manic, and I I don't think that's a valid complaint because considering everything that happened at the end of the first season, I actually think it's pretty like it's expected. Honestly, it's pretty realistic. Like she is
And
juggling a lot.
especially because for us it's been a year and a half. For Oliver's, it's only been a month.
Yeah, basically, she hasn't fully processed her friend's death. The hotel isn't doing how she wanted. Vox is taking everything she's trying to do and spinning it. It's like she's dealing with a lot. It absolutely makes sense that she would basically lose her shit the way she does.
Yeah. No, it's
Like,
completely valid.
yeah, like that whole Danny Do Bad thing reeks of desperation. Like,
Yeah, it does. It really does.
worst part of the whole fucking season.
Couldn't agree more.
Oh, I mean that was good character development for Angel though. That whole scene.
It was.
Um, Let me ask you this: do you think, based on what we've seen this season, that Husker has feelings for Angel, like feelings?
If so, I will be one happy duster.
That's that's a thing you can choose to
Like,
call yourself if you want to.
dude,
Yeah.
I love Husker and Angel, and the fact that there is a fanfic, like fanfiction, like name for the duo is amazing. Because much as I absolutely love Angel Dust, but Husker is Sarah's favorite character, and that I think is worth something.
Brooksy says that he feels like it's more of a big bro situation to him, like taking care of him because he sees himself in him. Um, like Husk sees Angel in himself. Um, ooh, I bet he does. No, uh, no, but seriously though, I want to raise, I want to raise you this. I want to raise you this. He says, "Bro, I mean nice, but nice." um, I want to raise you this though. The song, you know the one at the
Mhm.
casino that Husk goes to,
Uh-huh.
and Angel is there, and
Uh,
he's the one singing. His reaction, Husk's reactions, seem that I don't know. That's giving me more than just familial vibes at that point.
yeah, no, that's like he's got feelings for Angel.
Like that man full on blushed.
Like I've got theories for the next season in regards to Angel Dust and Husker.
Now I will say this though, Brooksy's right that Brooksy's right that I think in the first season it was definitely intended to be like a brotherly thing, but
Yeah,
this
time
is
it's yeah, it's
this
it's a
show
regular
is
falling. It's the bartender falling for the regular.
Well, it's not only that; it's just that this show is not above fan service, and I think
No, definitely
the
not.
it's the kind of thing that they're gonna start to push because that's what the fans want. Uh, yeah, Brooksy said that was a banger of a song. I mean, we do have to also admit, overall, this show is just so horny, which yeah, it is. Well, and also Angel's a porn star, so
Yeah.
as a Lannister once said, "You are my brother and my lover."
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Just saying.
um. That being said, though, Vox being the main villain of this season, I definitely saw coming.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
that that
Worst
that's
villain, by the way.
I do want to say though what's funny about it is it feels like early in the season they start to build loot up as kind of a big bad they're gonna have to deal with, but that basically goes nowhere. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering if they're just saving something for season three in regards to that.
Probably.
Um, but there is, and we'll get more into this into the spoilers section. But there is something that happens in the season that makes me think that they decided to retcon a certain plot line so that they could do something different with it. Kind of like what South Park did this year with the whole Cartman and Peter Thiel thing.
Yeah.
I I think like they had an idea for something having to do with um I'll just put it this way, something having to do with Loot and Charlie's mom, Lilith,
Yeah.
and I think they decided to scrap that and go a different direction. Is all I'll say about that for now. Is just there's something that happens at a certain point in the season that makes me feel that way. Like they changed their mind about what they were gonna do there, and so
Hmm.
they wrote their mind changing into the script,
Yeah.
um, and retconned it. So which is it happens. And one thing I noticed about this season of the show, it feels a lot more in terms of like tone and animation, it felt a lot more like Hell of a Boss than it did the first season of itself.
Yeah. Viv did say that they were able to get a larger crew of animators, higher quality animators to work on this one.
Well, not only that, but a lot of like the side demons that you see in this season, like the things just like the general citizens and stuff, a lot of them look like characters straight out of Hell of a Boss. And
Fair enough.
they even connected the universes by so there's this like clown character in Hell of a Boss, Fitzaroli or whatever, um, and he's super famous, and they've made a lot of like there's like personal assistant robots that look just like him that they made that are like that people can buy as like a house android, and throughout this whole season, Val has one of those following him around most of the time.
Okay.
It's actually there's a fight scene with it in the finale.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. So I was like, this is like probably the most like it's one of those things that I appreciate because it's a like a literal direct visual reference that these two shows take place in the same universe without it being like a huge like thing. It's like they're not fully calling attention to it. It's not like when a character from another movie shows up in an MCU movie and like everyone claps. It's not like that. It's
Yeah.
it's it, you know the it's subtle. It's subtle
Yeah.
implementation of connected universe features that I like that. Um, it's subtle and organic. Like it's believable. So, like, I 100% believe that Val would have one of those things as his little servant because, among other things, they also serve as sex bots. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So yeah, animation and tone wise, it felt a little more Hell of a Boss ish this time around. What do you think? What do we think of the new character Baxter?
I, you know, There was some interesting character development with him.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of classic Cartoon Network shows. Like he definitely fits that archetype. Brooksy says we have Serpentius at home is how I feel about him. Yeah, I think that was kind of the point.
Yeah,
Like,
uh,
because you
considering.
see, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm gonna backtrack on that because what I was going to say would be technically considered spoilery. We'll save it for the next section.
Fair enough. Um, uh, what I was gonna say is that you see how quickly Charlie basically latched onto him, and she's like, "Oh, you're Serpentius was an inventor. You're an inventor." She's doing that. It's a very common thing when people deal with trauma the way that she did. She's trying to replace her dead friend. Uh, and
Trying to fill a void.
yeah, trying to fill that void, and yeah, she immediately latches onto it. I want to say huge props to Vaggie for stepping up this in this
Oh my goodness,
this
dude!
season.
Yes,
Like she is the rock that holds everything together. Out of all the characters this season, she's probably the most held together mentally out of any of them. She's definitely the mother goose of the group in this season, trying to keep everyone stable.
yeah.
um it's I worry for her because she took on a lot this season, and she did a lot. She's taken on everyone else's shit and really didn't have a lot of a time for herself to develop, and except there was that great love scene song with her and Charlie. Um
Yes, was got
Beautiful.
kind of steamy.
Yes. Yes, they did. Um, Stephanie Beatriz, by the way, once again, like it's crazy to me how quickly she switches her normal voice to her singing voice, and it's still her. Like it's not a different person. It's just that the two voices sound so different, but it's the same person.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like I can tell that she was both on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and in Kanto at the same time. Like,
Hmm.
um, Yeah, actually, I love how many like well-known people are in this. Husker, of course, being played by Keith David, such a prolific voice actor.
Such an iconic voice.
Yes, I know him primarily as the president from Rick and Morty. Um,
He's been
but
in so many things.
he's a lot of things. He's Captain Anderson in Mass Effect. Um, but yeah, such a deep, booming, commanding voice too.
He was also in one of Larry the Cable Guy's movies, Delta Farce. Such a funny
Oh,
movie.
okay. Um, we got a lot more time in heaven this time around,
Yes,
and I
we
just
did.
want to. That's another thing I want to point out too. That kind of to me has more of a subtle. It's not a direct connection, because Vivzy basically said that it's just her art style. There's going to be a lot of similarities, but the voice of God character looks a lot like the Goetia from Hell of a Boss. The Goetia being the owl-looking people, like
Yes,
Stolas.
I have gotten that far in Hell of a Boss to be able to confirm that. Yes, I can agree with that 1000%.
And this is one of those shows. Another thing I saw people online complaining about. They were like, "Oh, so they're going to give us a voice of God, but they won't show actual God." Like we got Lucifer and Satan, two separate characters in the Helliverse, by the way, not the same
I
people.
mean, this
Um,
show is blasphemy as much as it is much like this show is blasphemy for a reason. Do you think they're going to give that's that would just add more fuel to the fire?
no, well, here's the thing. Actually, I would argue that it's not. I mean, it's raunchy and all that. Like your typical Christian may see it as blasphemy, but I don't, because I actually see it as a interpretation of demon lore. This entire
Okay.
show is based on Judeo-Christian mythology, just like Dante's Inferno. Um,
Okay.
and like the Nine Rings of Hell and all that. Um, it's just another interpretation like Norse or Greek mythology, but a lot of the lore in the Helliverse comes from demonology.
Yeah.
Actually, that's where you get characters like Stolas from. Stolas is an actual demon in mythology, like the owl thing.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So a lot of let's just say Vivzi's done her research. A lot of the stuff that she puts in the show is actually based on real things that she's looked into.
She said
Um,
she at one point said that she had been drawing these characters since she was like 15 years old.
yeah, it's fascinating stuff. But like my thing is, this is the kind of show that I think is better if it never shows God himself. Like I think that should always just remain mysterious. Like
Yes.
Supernatural was better when God was missing and absent. It kind of jumped the shark when they brought him in. So,
Hmm.
um, it leaves an air of mystery that I think because like you can have shows like Family Guy and stuff show God because they're just doing full on comedy, but Hell of a Boss or Hazbin Hotel isn't just full on comedy. There's some like serious metaphors for mental health and shit in here too, and um, and there's an actual like meaningful story at the core of all the sex jokes and cursing. Uh, in fact, one thing I was going to point out, as horny as this show is, I actually noticed that they did actually dial it back a bit on the sex jokes this season, which is something I appreciated, quite frankly. Because that was one of my main complaints about season one, was that the first 3 episodes are literally just nothing but sex jokes back to back. And it's not until episode
Yeah.
4 that the show gets good. And I was so glad to see that they showed a little bit of restraint this time. you know like
Did.
it's fine to have them, just don't overdo it. It's like when a horror game overdoes it on the jump scares, eventually they stop being scary and start being annoying.
Hmm.
And there is such a thing as too much, and season 1 was too much on that shit, and they
They,
so I'm
however,
glad that
did
they
not
they
dial it.
dialed it back.
They didn't dial it back on the swearing though.
I don't give a fuck about that. like, like that's I'm completely okay with that. Quite frankly. Brooksy, do you have any input where we're at right now on anything we just talked about?
Slightly less horny.
But only slightly. He said it went from triple X to double X. Fair enough. Fair enough. But how do you feel about what we said about like the tone feeling more like Hell of a Boss and the animation and stuff like that, and the fact that we got a lot more glimpses at heaven? And do you like the voice of God character? He said, "I'm not entirely opposed to the voice of God. I mean, it's no Alanis Morissette, but I do enjoy it." And he says he agrees with the tone feeling more like Hell of a Boss this time around. The Alanis Morissette thing was a Dogma reference. Um, Brooksy says he does have a harder time getting into Hell of a Boss than has been. Understandable.
I've had the same problem.
He said, and I think it did just overall add to the season not being my favorite. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Soundtrack's
Hell of
still
a
a
Boss.
banger.
Hell of a Boss also has a rough first season, in my opinion. Although I do love that Norman Reedus plays one of the guest characters in it, um, which is like a crazy thing for a show that was on YouTube. Like that's a big grab.
Hmm.
Um, but season 2 is where it picks up. In my opinion, season 2 has a lot more like serious stuff and character development, the relationship between Blitz and Stolas and stuff like that, and the relationship between Blitz and Fitz, uh, and Luna, and it's one of those things where the first season was just trying to be edgy and funny, but the second season was like, okay, now we're gonna be serious, like
Hmm.
more like Has Been, and So I will say it is worth it to get to that point, but yeah, I know they're just trying to keep the two universes connected, which is, I mean, they're in the same place. They're just in different rings of hell. Hazbin Hotel takes place in the Pride Ring, as far as I'm aware, whereas Hell of a Boss kind of jumps around all over the place.
Fair enough.
That being said, too, Hell of a Boss is the show more often where you see humans because they go up to Earth to kill them a lot. That's kind of their thing. Um,
The immediate
which
murder professionals.
Right, which is why I think season two of Has Been kind of felt a little more like it too, because we saw the human versions of these characters, which is something we never saw in season one. And their human designs is definitely Hell of a Boss animation style.
I wonder how the crossover is gonna take place. Like whenever. Wonder if like say maybe in the next season we'll see Blitz, Moxie, and why am I blanking on
Millie?
Millie? Yeah.
Yeah, Imp would have been very helpful in the final fight of this season, I tell you that much.
Oh yes, absolutely. The
Especially
one
Millie. Millie kicks ass. She basically, in Hell of a Boss, slaughters an entire gang on her own in one
Jesus
episode.
Christ. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like since Angel's family was crime syndicate, wonder if in the next season we get the immediate murder professionals called from to take a job on Angel's family.
You want to know what's funny about that?
What's that?
Moxie's family in Hell, like his Hell family, is the Mafia, the Hell Mafia.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that would be an interesting way of doing it. But also Moxie is canonically bisexual.
Okay.
It's another thing you learn in that episode. But anyways, um, so yeah, we got a lot of great character development this season. One last thing I want to touch on before moving on to the spoilers is the relationship between Penchus and Cherry.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I think it's deserved.
Yes. My
Yeah,
cute.
yeah. Brooksy ships it. He says. He also says, I imagine a full crossover episode in season 3 or 4, so making the art style between the two more identical makes sense, but I really love the art style of season 1. I did too. It's just, I feel like it's only changed to a degree, though. Like, when you look at the character designs, they still feel the same. It's just the overall that's changed. And the fact that there's more, there's a character that you see a lot in the audience that looks a lot like the bounty hunting armadillo character from Hell of a Boss that Norman Reedus played
Okay.
in this season. Like some of the NPCs look a lot more like Hell of a Boss characters, but like the main cast, like Charlie and them, they still maintain their season 1 animation as far as I'm concerned. Charlie still looks like a Cartoon Network, or no, Charlie still looks like a Disney character.
Yes, she does.
Like, yeah. Just like she did in season 1, so that still fits, which obviously is the point surrounding her. Brooksy's saying that he feels like as the show goes on, the animation style might slowly creep to be a little more and more like the other one as it goes, instead of being a huge, drastic change all at once. You know, honestly though, I feel like the two shows' animations weren't really that far off to begin with. uh, they're very like everything's red. Like that's the big thing. There's a lot of red on both of them. Hell is red, apparently, which makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Um, but yeah, the relationship between Penchus and Cherry Bomb definitely uh, deserved.
Miss Bomb.
Yes. Apparently, Nick can do a good Penchus impression. um, yeah, I love how they handled that. It was like one thing that was bothering me the whole damn season, though, is that like Emily uses this portal to get back and forth between heaven and hell. Why couldn't she just let them say hello to each other through the portal just once? Like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of harm would that have done?
Right?
It bothered.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that bothered the shit out of me. Like, you can't. I understand not letting him go, but why can't you just let him say
Like,
hi?
right?
Let
Can they not
let
see each
let
other
let
through it?
like like at least let him know. At least let them know that he's okay.
Or is it just like, I mean, to be fair though, that portal, all I ever saw was blue. I never did see an image on the other side, which leads me to believe how does she know when she goes through it that it's going to lead where she wants it to? Emily's portals play by the same rules as Rick's portal gun in Rick and Morty. Honestly, like like you
Yeah.
can't see through it, so you can't actually see where it's going, but somehow you still know that you're going where you want it to. Like,
Yeah.
um, Brooksy said, "I'm sorry, Justin. Are you paying for the long distance call?" No, they had to hack Vox Tech for that. Duh. But okay, songs. Let's tackle songs, and then we'll move on to spoilers. This is definitely the kind of show you
That's
say more in the spoiler section. um, so favorite song of the whole season.
so me think I'm going to land on Vox Populi, and I'll tell you why. Because I found myself the other day, like, as I was, like, walking through the house, I was going, Hail Vox Populi, the people's. Like, I'm, like, just not even listening to it not even listening to it in my earbuds or anywhere. I'm just, like, verbally, just out of like impulse, just singing the chorus of the song. It's catchy.
For me, I think it has to be Lute's song "Gravity," hands down. Even though we never really get a payoff in this season to her villain arc, that song just absolutely slaps.
Clean It Up comes in hard second.
Yeah, so that I'm pretty sure that's what Brooksy said. He calls it nifty kawaii core, um, hands down. But yeah, the clean it up song, it is that is a good one. I'm not gonna lie, that is a really good one. Um, I liked a lot of the songs this season. Not as many of them were as memorable, though. A lot of the songs this season felt like reprises. Um, like or reprise, however you say it, of other songs, both from the first season and this one. Which I think is kind of the point because they're trying to do a book ending thing with some of that stuff. But, like, there's a song that Vox sings in this season that's literally just three different, like, it is literally a mixture of three other songs from the show.
Yeah. They could have like that's another thing that yes, while the songs are all bangers, those spots could have been used for other songs.
Yeah. Kawaii, that's right. Kawaii. Nifty Kawaii core.
Yeah.
No, it was funny, and then like I love how the visuals change to be like anime when she starts singing in Japanese.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And Brooksy says Gravity would be a strong number two for him. Good. I'm glad you like that one. Gravity is the kind of song I could hear playing on the radio. Like, that's the song that. Because a lot of songs from musicals, you basically need the context of where the song takes place in the musical to fully appreciate. Not so much the case for Gravity from this season and Poison from season one. Those are both radio songs, as I call them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Brooksy says he wishes this season had more rock anthems. Yeah, well, I would say the the
The opening of Vox Populi was.
the song with Lucifer and Vox.
Yeah,
Yeah, that I would call that one a rock anthem to a degree. They did a lot of genre mixing in this one.
they really did.
Like Vox has some songs that are like going for like old school tap dancing music, but then it like switches into something modern halfway through,
Mm-hmm.
which is something I kind of like. But all right. On that note, let's settle on the rating for this season and then move on to the spoilers.
So I gave season one a 10 out of 10. You guys heard my caveat. This one's getting a 9.5.
Fair enough. I gave season one a 9 out of 10. I think I'm giving season two an 8 out of 10. It's the pacing issues for me more than anything. There's some pacing issues. Some episodes are completely unnecessary and others are unnecessarily rushed.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Brooksy has to maintain his uh, harsh critic persona. Season one, he would have given a 9 out of 10. This season, he says, is a 7 out of 10. I wasn't expecting that low. Actually, yes, I was. From you, I was. Okay, now see, 6.5 I might have had to fight you on. That's a little too harsh. There is. This season is only slightly worse than the first one, and if the first one can have the first three episodes be mostly horseshit and still get a 9 out of 10, then I think season two deserves an 8. Yeah, I don't like the filler. I don't like the filler in this season, but the filler is mostly just 2 out of 8 episodes, so that's not as bad. But yeah, it's there's definitely a slight dip in quality in the soundtrack, and the change in art is noticeable. The art change is completely subjective, though. Like that's gonna be something, I mean, it's all subjective, but that part in particular is the most subjective thing. Like that's, uh, I don't know. That doesn't bother me as much. I feel like if I was being in, I don't know. If I was in a nitpicking mood, then I would bitch about the art style. But I was trying to be nice, um, and because I still genuinely enjoyed the show, and I fucking love the overall story of this season is still enough to keep it in a high ranking for me. Um, but the filler episodes and the dip in sound, like the pacing and the dip in soundtrack quality, does bring it down a point for me, but not too far. The art style I'm not as bothered by. It's noticeable, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a bad change. I don't.
No.
I'm indifferent to it, quite frankly. It still looks like the same show to me, and that's what matters. It's not so drastic that it feels like a different show. It's noticeable though. It is worth mentioning that it's noticeable. But yeah, Brooksy says that yeah, he was gonna give it a 6.5, but he landed on 7. They one pieced the season with filler episodes. The songs were not nearly as memorable, and the change in art tone left more to be desired for him personally. It's all completely fair. All completely fair. I can accept a 7. I can see a 7 on this, especially since we were on the same page with season 1. So,
Yeah.
all right. With that being said, On to the spoilers. All right, folks, here we are at the spoiler section of the show. You have been warned. If you don't want to be spoiled, go away. That's it. All right. Nick, I'll let you kick off because I already know the one big thing you want to talk about. In terms of how the season ended.
Oh yes. So I when Henchus finally gets through and is able to broadcast to heaven, I absolutely lost my shit. He said, "Also, I'm a good boy now." Bro, like shit was fucking hilarious.
I was talking about the phone call, the big cliffhanger at the end of the
Oh,
season.
the phone call.
Yeah. So
Lilith.
after like
Lilith.
after trying for
Oh, dude.
basically all season to get a hold
Oh,
of her mother, and then things finally change so much that she finally calls her back at the end of the season, only for that to be a cliffhanger.
bro,
Like,
the worst. Like that. Like I thought the cliffhanger at the end of last season was bad. Words that I vomited out of my mouth when when I finished the season for the first time. Like, what the fuck? God damn it, Viv.
well, did you also notice that the cliffhanger for the end of both seasons involves her mom?
Lilith.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like
Clearly, Lilith is
I
gonna
did
play a
notice
big
that.
role in season 3. Is my assumption.
I from what I've heard so far, and these are words from directly out of Vivian Madrano's mouth herself, is season 2 is going to be about family. So it very well could be about like the Morning Stars, and maybe we'll get a little bit more background on Angel Dust's family with what we found out about how he ended up in hell. He killed his dad. Um, we might get a little bit. They might like expand on that in season 3. Hopefully, we get a little bit more more backstory on hopefully on Husker as well.
Yeah, and this is where I can also bring in what I said. I feel like they retconned. There was Loot had something over Lilith's head, and she was using it. Was gonna use it to blackmail her, and they completely undid that this season. There's a part where she sends her a text, and she's like, "You're off the hook for now, bitch." And it's, to me, feels like they retconned that whole plot line. So they could do something else with it. And as Brooksy brings up in the chat, they only planned on the show being 3 seasons originally, but then Amazon renewed it for 3 more seasons. So I know we're getting at least 6, which means I think that has a lot to do with the pacing issues with season 2. They stretched some stuff out and rewrote some stuff to plan for a longer haul. Um, so which can be good or bad. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good to have more time to stretch the story out, but also um,
here for it. I
to
like the more
yeah,
Hazbin Hotel, the better.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here for it.
I think now that
Gonna complain.
they know that they have more time to work with, next season should be better because they'll have a better plan going in. Knowing what they have for breathing room now, like they won't have to feel as rushed to try and wrap up the story.
Yeah,
Because that's, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even expecting them to wrap up the story in this season. I was expecting the Vox shit to carry over into next season, and then they just kind of, they fixed it quickly, and that's another thing Brooksy brings up. in the chat is the Power of Friendship song that they use to save the day at the end. When I was watching
You're
that
my
episode,
hope.
I was like, wow, this is the most Kingdom Hearts shit that this show has ever done. Like, this is legitimately some, like, um. It is 100% like they all come up and they like start shooting these lasers out of their hands. Like that was something like when did they all suddenly get the power to do this? Like, and why can all of them do it? Is this just like something everyone in hell can do, but it only works when they all come together and use it? Like this shit makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by the finale feeling rushed. That is literally when you resort to anime bullshit to wrap up your plot line, it's because you don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
That is I don't know. There's a million other ways you can blow that machine up. And I
Oh,
know they wanted it to be all high stakes and everything, and that's great and all, but like the power I know I choose to believe that since this is a comedy show and this is how I'm going to try and headcanon excuse this shit. The whole reason they did that was satire. They were doing it to make fun of it. That's my belief. That's what I'm choosing to
okay.
believe because that's the only way it makes sense because they satirize Disney musicals in this show. Like that's that like that's because literally remember that the opening song of the entire show is literally a parody of Belle's "Walking Through the Village" song from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that's the only way I can accept it. The problem is though they don't play it off as a joke. They play it extremely seriously.
They
Which
do.
like so
They
it's
really
hard
fucking do.
it's really hard to excuse it as satire with that unless if it is satire it's the most straight-faced satire I've ever seen.
It really fucking is.
Because that definitely was giving Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts does that shit and takes it serious. It's not making fun of itself or being self-aware till the third game anyway. That they are 100% serious about how did Sora get the get the Keyblade back from Riku? The power of friendship. My heart is stronger
Yeah.
than yours. That's literally all it was. Uh and that I don't know. I just as smart as this show is otherwise with how well written characters like Alistair are and how good they are at like the metaphors with mental health and stuff, that felt
Mm.
like the most lazy thing they could have possibly done to get out of that situation. And
This was
from a writing perspective.
this season was very political too, kinda.
Yeah, well, I
Had a
mean
very political undertone.
it's hard to make a character like Vox not be a direct metaphor for Trump when it's like
Yeah.
because like Trump is
Especially
literally just a cartoon villain come to life. Like that's
yeah.
you know.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on something. I went back and listened to our season 1 spoiler cast and they uh they expanded on something when Alistair cashed in on his favor that he his deal that he made with Charlie in season 1.
Yep, he cashed in on that deal this year. I want to say honestly the best thing about the whole season, and maybe I'm biased because he's my favorite character, is Alistair playing 5D chess with Vox in the background.
God, I'm dead.
Yeah, yeah. Brooksy says, uh, if Vox is Trump, does that make Valentino Vance? I mean, JD fucks couches and Valentino fucks everything else. Yeah.
That's yeah. Makes so much sense. Oh, and that would make uh why am I blanking on her name?
V.
Yeah, V make
Velvet.
her Velvet. That would make her Caroline Levitt.
um by the way, I will say this. I like the fight scenes in this season. We didn't get like
Yes.
too many fight scenes until the end of the season last time. This season had a lot more fight scenes, and we actually get to see like Velvet and Val use their actual powers. Um,
Yes.
Characters definitely seem to have a lot more powers in this season than they did in the first one. Something I noticed too. And
Hmm.
I don't know if that's just by design of them having a bigger budget for the animation,
Possibly.
or um, yeah, or if it's a lore thing. I just it, although it did, Alistair was struggling at first, but yeah, that's the thing I love. His whole 5D chess thing, his whole thing, he purposely got kidnapped by Vox so he could sit there and gaslight him, and part of Vox's part of Vox's whole like manic rise to power is
He let him.
Alistair pulling the strings behind the scenes the whole time.
Yes.
Like,
He did that smarmy asshole thing where it's like he let him think he was winning
mm-hmm.
when he was pulling the strings and he was pulling all the strings behind the scenes.
I will say though, he did play a bit of a gamble on how things would turn out, but he noticed Vox's weaknesses and insecurities, and he knew him from before, anyways.
Huh?
And he played that against him, and he turned him and the other V's against each other, with the stuff he
Yep.
was saying. And then he cashed in on his deal with Charlie to get her to rub Vox's ego so much that he became literally more powerful than Rosie, which broke Alistair's chains that Rosie had over him, which means he's now free from whatever deal he made with her because of the power that Vox gained, which I'm not sure how that works that way. It must have something to do with their deal. Oh, I know what it is. I just realized it's because Alistair's deal with Rosie was that he would be the most powerful being in hell. So when Vox surpassed him as the most powerful according to the Princess of Hell, that broke the deal, therefore breaking her chain over him. That's what it is. I
Oh, that makes so much sense.
That's what it was. I just understood that. That just clicked with me just now. Um so that's so
He and then he proceeded to manipulate Rosie to fix his staff
right.
during Hear My Hope.
And that's the yeah something that's the thing I was gonna say. The one thing we can point out about that song, because Alistair was in the background being like, fuck this shit, I don't want any part of it, and Rosie confronts him. They made another deal, and we don't know what it is because it happened off screen, but they just walk in and start shooting lasers at the thing too, like everyone else. Something happened, like when the camera cut, they did some they cut another deal or something. And I 100% believe Alistair is going to be the main villain of season 3. That
I firmly believe that as well. Like the colors are going to be for season 3 green and purple.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um Brooksy says, one point I will say I did really enjoy this season, though, was the exploration of more people's background stories and how they came to be. Alistair was incredible. Vox makes total sense and was really enjoyable. Yeah, I love the fact that. So, we get it all through visuals and songs, so it takes a lot of media literacy to really pick up on the narrative here, because it's not spoon fed to you. You have to, like, really pay attention. But in Vox's song, the the implication I got is that he was a serial killer who killed the people whose places he kept taking, like that news anchor. He killed him and took his place on the show. That
Mhm.
singer and all that. Eventually, he ended up getting a cult of followers, like all those people that were there with him. Because one thing I noticed, when that TV falls on his head and kills him, he's standing in water. And it makes me wonder if that was an
Uh
accident or on purpose. Like if that was one of those, I'm going out and taking all of you with me, because all of his followers got electrocuted too in that scene. So I think Vox was
Oh,
actually a cult leader in real life when he was a human. And then that's why he has the TV on his head in hell, because that's how he died, because the TV fell on him and electrocuted him.
hmm, makes sense.
And then Alistair, turns out we were right in our thing about how he died when we
Hmm.
talked about it in the
Someone mistook him for a deer.
and shot him. Yep. While he was burying a body in the woods, because he was also a serial killer.
Yeah, he was.
Crazy how like the most powerful demons in hell were serial killers in real
The
life.
fact that he made his deal with Rosie literally the day before he died.
Yes, yes. Also, something I'm sure Brooksy probably noticed too. He's Creole, his human form. He was mixed race Creole. Um, yeah, he said it made so much sense.
It was interesting getting to see Alistair's backstory as well as Vox's. It was, and then we got to see some of Pentius's backstory too.
Yes. Also, did you notice in Alistair's human backstory that we got to see human Mimsy?
No, I must have
He,
missed that.
there's a part where he's playing the piano, and the human version of Mimsy is there, like on the piano, like like
Okay,
like laying on it.
you got a glimpse of Angel Dust's sister, Heaven, in episode 2.
Yeah, his sister Molly is in heaven. She looks just like him.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, what did you just say? What was it? Who else's backstory we got? Oh, Pentious. Yeah.
just Serpentius.
So, so, from what I'm to understand from that, um, I don't know, because the wording was a bit weird. Because obviously he witnessed Jack the Ripper kill somebody and said nothing because he was scared. Like that was his greatest like regret. You
He
know his
took it to his grave.
Yeah, but he seemed to indicate that he actually knew who Jack the Ripper was, like genuinely who he was. I'm not sure if that's what he
Client
was
of
trying
it
to
was a client.
imply.
It was a client of his.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That was the only
Cuz
reason he didn't say anything because that was his biggest client. It was the
mm,
only reason his business was still running. He didn't say
yeah.
anything for selfish purposes, and he took that secret to his grave, and that essentially took it to hell with him.
Um yeah. Yeah, he did. And but like that's I think part of why he got redeemed, you can really see it in this season, is that he genuinely felt guilty about that,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
still does. And it's like, it doesn't seem like he was actually a bad person in real life. He just made that one mistake, and that cost him. And when he ended up in hell, he was like, "Well, since I'm in hell, I might as well embrace it and do bad things." But
Yeah.
it makes so much sense now. In it, like recontextualizes everything for me, because it just goes to show that he, out of all of them, was never actually a bad person to begin with, which is why he got so easily redeemed. I
Lo-
think some of them are going to have a much harder time than he did getting redeemed.
I love how in the Heaven song in this one, uh, like you, um, I love how he tries to like invent something in order to be able to see friends from the hotel. And then
Emily comes and stops him
he,
because they have
lo-
rules and
oh
such.
yes, so I I know I remember where I was going with this. I love how like he's not really enjoying himself at first. He misses his friends.
Yeah.
And I love that Emily was able to conjure heavenly boys for him to play with. They were cute.
Yeah. That was a very nice thing that she did. I love Emily. She is
She's
vibes.
a
She's great.
sweetheart.
Yes. That being said though, I don't think I would be happy in their version of heaven either. It's a bit uh much. it's
Yeah.
it's a little too kawaii.
Yeah.
um Brooksy says, so do you think the series will end with those that don't die all being in heaven or a blend between both worlds?
Wait, I need to read that again. Maybe I could see it being a blend of both worlds.
Blend of both worlds as in characters characters from both areas living in both areas, or they open the borders between each other and they can all just come and go as they please, or
I think that
the
would be
two
a
worlds the two worlds crash into each other and merge. like
opening the
that
borders.
reminds me, by the way,
No.
another thing I want to point out.
Desegregation.
That's
Yes.
yes. Another thing I want to point out that felt very Kingdom Heartsy to me in this season is the fact that you can see heaven from hell and vice versa, but they both just look like planets that you can fly to on a spaceship.
Right?
like they they literally
Really did that.
they're yes, they did. Like it looks like, oh, this looks like a fucking design of a Kingdom Hearts world on the gummy ship map. 100%.
Really does.
Yeah. Who knows? Between Nifty's song and the power of friendship saving the day, this might slowly be turning into an anime. like
I would not be opposed to it.
apparently Brooksy would. Or maybe every season's gonna try to emulate a different thing, right? So the first season was basically Disney and Cartoon Network. This season was anime.
So,
What are they gonna do next season?
oh man, dude. Burton style shit.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do that.
I mean, look at we already have like a solid, not necessarily solid, but very hard evidence that leans towards Alistair being the main villain in season 3. Um, I could see them like going down that rabbit hole.
To be fair, the power of friendship isn't just an anime thing; it's in a lot of Disney shit
Yeah,
too.
it is.
So, um, and it is again, at the end of the day, this is really just like a satire of Disney musicals, but at the same time trying to take itself seriously. It's trying to have its cake and eat it too. It wants to be a satire, but it also wants to have a message and a serious story and character development, and you can have both. You can. You just pacing is the most important part
Yeah,
when it comes to that.
I'm really like I can't believe it's already been. We just got done with season 2. It's gonna be another year and a half before we get to see season 3.
Yeah, now you know
It's
how Rick and Morty fans
dude.
feel. They
Um,
usually wait like two years between seasons.
it's gonna be so difficult. It was difficult waiting for season 2, and now it's come and gone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's the cliffhanger what mainly has me excited for the next
I
season.
really
Honestly,
no, for real. But another point I wanted to talk about was the fact that Baxter and Pentious used to work together, lab partners.
yes, yeah. When they were in hell, when he was in hell, when Pentious was in hell, they worked together. That's another one of those like retconning things that they do to fit a new character into the season because Baxter was never even mentioned in the first season, but the way that they write it, that him and Penchas kind of resent each other, it kind of makes sense that he'd never bring him up.
Yeah,
So
true.
I can allow that. it's retcons are okay if you can write them in cleverly enough to make it feel like they always fit to begin with. You know,
Yeah,
it's when retcons erase established lore that it becomes a problem.
exactly.
And they didn't do too much of that here. I don't think it's just the one thing with Lilith and Loot that they kind of went back on. It feels like they backpedaled on. Like they're like, we're just gonna put a pin in that and visit it later. Is basically what they did. Um, which is fine because now that they know they have more time to work with, that's probably why they did it. Because that's like, oh, that's a plot thread that we can start pulling at a little bit later. We don't need to rush that one now. Give it time to breathe.
There was something that I noticed in the casino um
Yeah.
during Husker's song on the slot machines. It spelled out the words "loser baby."
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
I
was
saw that. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I love the little Easter
So
eggs
yeah,
and stuff like that. I will say like I before I watched the final episode, I was very curious how they were going to wrap all this up. And like the way the second to last episode ends where they're all getting ready to fight, that's some pretty good shit. That last song, they're all getting ready for a fight going down. But the way that the fight actually goes down, most of it I actually really like. Like I like the actual fight scenes, like Cherry and Husk fighting that Fitzarali robot trying to save Angel,
hmm
and Nifty versus Velvet is actually like probably one of my favorite fight scenes
oh
in the
dude,
whole
that was
show.
badass.
That was well done. I love that they basically gave Velvet like cell phone powers. This is what she has.
hmm
Um,
So the one part that I lost it more than that last bit with Serpentius
mm-hmm.
was when Vaggie went to go see Lucifer, and he had its entire room filled with nothing but rubber duckies
Mm-hmm.
and a screenplay of a Broadway musical, The Great Quacksby.
Yes. That the rubber duck thing with Lucifer is definitely some kind of coping skill thing. Like
It's gotta be
there's
because his one of the quotes from his character in season one was, "Take that, depression."
yes. Yeah, he's definitely got some stuff going on.
Yeah,
It is interesting. What do you think of the reveal that he can't smite any sinners? Like Lucifer, he's the king of hell, but he's essentially powerless against his own people. Like,
the fact that Vox is like, they they didn't they oh, what was it he said? Uh,
it means he can use his powers against angels and humans, but he's absolutely powerless against other demons.
yeah, they clipped his wings and trapped him down here. Well, then Vox is like, well, I got no chains on me. He's gonna fucking take over
And when you
heaven.
think about that,
This with this mega weapon that was built by Carmela Carmine, with Lucifer being the fuel source, power source.
yeah, which means Lucifer is powerful. It's just that his power means fuck all in hell because he can't use it for anything. um,
Yeah,
we saw him use it to fight the angels that invaded at the end of the first season, but that's because he can use it against them. He can't use it against other demons, and that
Yeah.
that makes him basically useless as the king of hell, which I think is the point,
Yeah.
and that's why it's such a like a fucking brutal punishment, because they're like, we're giving you authority but no power to enforce it.
Yeah, that's fucked. I had to see Charlie like get kind of angry and show her like horns in one part of this season.
Yes. Yeah, well, we saw that in the first season too. She did. It's crazy because as like happy-go-lucky as she usually is, I kind of love it when she snaps and goes full demon. Like,
Yes.
it's it's
Yes,
it's fucking great. um,
it is.
this season though, her reason for snapping was like, I mean, it's understandable. Like Vaggie
You
and
can attack me all you want, but leave my friends out of it.
well, and Vaggie and her dad were just trying to help, but things didn't really. You know, it was complicated. It was like, and I wonder if Charlie fully understands that the situation with her dad and Vaggie trying to help and unintentionally making everything worse is no different than what she did with Val and Angel Dust in season one.
Yeah.
You know, um, doing the wrong things with the right intentions.
Yeah.
Um, so Alistair broke Rosie's chain over him, but he still has a chain over Husk, and I'm
Oscar.
pretty sure Val still has a chain over Angel Dust. Because if I remember correctly, actually one of
Yeah.
the big bummers about how this season ended is that Angel refuses to go back with them. He feels like
It's like when I have some I have some thoughts on this when you get done. I'm
oh, I
sorry.
was just gonna say when he basically feels like as long as he's with them that they're in danger because they can mind control him at any point. As long as he's owned by Val, he's putting his friends in danger by being at the hotel. Is how he feels. And even though like Val and had a change of heart at the end of the season and basically ripped Vox's head off because he finally had enough of his bullshit, that was purely in self interest. It's not like he's a good person or anything. Val is still a bad person. um,
Yeah.
that was more of like a I'm tired of your bullshit thing, and like I don't want all of hell to like I don't want to die, and if I don't help them stop this machine, we're all gonna die. So that was it was purely self-preservation is what that was, because at that point it's like Vox has gone so far off the rails that like he's willing to blow up himself and everyone else just to prove how powerful he is, just like it's actually a direct parallel of his real life version, just like he was willing to kill himself and all of his cult members just to show how powerful he is. And he did the exact same thing in hell. He got all these people to follow him, and then he was going to sacrifice everyone at the end just to be a
Yes,
martyr.
exactly, Brooksy. Exactly, Brooksy. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think the
Um
difference is though. I don't think Trump would. I don't think Trump would let himself die like he would let everyone else die and get
oof,
himself out of there. like,
yeah. No, like I love how like Alistair was like all like whenever X would try to make a solid point of things that he did, he would jut that shit down real quick by saying, "Yes, you reached the top, like being the most powerful demon in hell, but you didn't do it without help.
yes, yes.
Couldn't do it without help."
Yes, he said, I captured you, didn't I? And he said, with the help from your friends, and stuff like that. I built that mega weapon with the help from Carmilla Carmine, yeah, he just, yep, like you said, he shut him down on all of them. You said you had thoughts on Angel Dust leaving the group?
No, oh, so no, I in Oxtech had control over Angel. They I didn't backstread. I didn't backpedal on how much I like Angel Dust. I still love Angel Dust. Angel Dust is still my favorite character. I got a little disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I understand his reasons
I got a little
for it.
sad.
I understand
I
his.
got sad.
I did too. I feel really bad for Husk. He seemed very heartbroken at that,
Yeah,
like extremely. Um, I am glad that Cherry and Penchus got to see each other though through the
that was
video.
cute.
Yes. And that they got to catch up and say hi. It was like it became
I
like a
cried.
normal phone call in the background.
Dude, I cried.
Yeah, there was some good shit in this season for sure. Um
Yeah, it was.
I mean, overall I do think more good than bad. More good than bad, especially now that we're on the spoilers and really digging into them. I definitely appreciate some of the stuff more on a second look. It's just it's one of those things where like the first season was so good that it kind of stands out. The drop in quality stands out. Um, but I'm sure they'll find their stride again. I have a feeling
Yeah.
with all the plot threads that they set up that season 3 is going to be a banger. That's
Oh, dude, I can't wait. I'm gonna like. I'm gonna spend time watching the Hell of a Boss series now that season 2 of Hazbin Hotel is come and gone.
it's I'm telling you, like I said, season 1 is a little rough. I understand, but season 2, when you get there, the story really starts to pick up. There's a really great episode where Blitz and Fitz have to actually work together and they kind of rekindle their friendship. It's there's some great character development there. Um
Okay.
and the relationship between Blitz and Stolas and the story goes some great places. It's also a great way to see all the other demons and like major demons beside like Lucifer is obviously head honcho of the Pride Ring and all that, but there's different like I think it's like Amadeus that's the master of the Lust Ring, and then there's a few others. You get to see all of them in that show. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Uh, yeah, so I is there anything else spoilery we haven't talked about yet that you wanted to tackle?
Uh, I think we've pretty much covered it all.
I will say this, the son of Adam, is it Abel? Abel, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah. Abel.
um he his I will say this, and it's part of that same friendship song that Brooksy doesn't like. This entire season he's an absolute coward, and then
My hope.
completely heel turns during a song at the very end and tells Lute to fuck off back to heaven. And like I'm glad that he finally stood up to her, but that was out of nowhere and almost completely undeserved. um
I
I,
mean, she wasn't listening. She wasn't stepping in line like he asked her to.
no, I mean him switching like personalities like that on the like he finally decided to grow a spine, and I'm glad he did, but it just comes out of nowhere. Like
Gotcha. Gotcha.
it's
Gotcha.
not really
Okay.
built up to very well. Because he's a sniveling coward the rest of the season until that point of the song, you know.
Yeah.
like um it felt that's one of those things I mean about the final episode feeling rushed. A lot of that shit they kind of like
Okay.
it's got like the um, it's got the same vibes as that Family Guy episode where they run out of time at the end, and Stewie's like, "Hold on," and he pulls this lever that says "Pull lever for hasty wrap up," and then they just like flash forward to the end of the episode, you know, like
It's fantastic.
it literally the finale feels like that. And then what's weird is that the finale is like 10 minutes longer than the normal episode, and it still feels rushed. I don't. And I definitely blame the filler episodes from earlier in the season for that.
Brooksy, Brooksy, you're my hope.
He just said ugh. It's not that the song itself is bad. It's just that the what. It's just that the fact that it's the power of friendship that saves the day that's stupid. Like, that's the problem with it.
Oh no. Oh no.
That being said, though, the magic laser powers that all of them suddenly have now, because why not? I do like how each of them is unique. Like, I do like that the animators put enough time and thought into like making each of them a different thing for each of them. Like, one of them is music notes, one of them, like Huskers, I think, was a bunch of cards or something. Or like, no, they were spades. They were like card symbols, like spades and diamonds and clubs and stuff. Um, so it is cool that each of them had like a different thing. Um, so that was cool, but the whole thing, yeah, like, uh, yeah, I definitely like. I'm pretty sure I've seen a scene just like that in a Kingdom Hearts game, quite frankly. So, um, like, it's not just the vibe. Like, I think it's just like shot for shot the exact same scene.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but overall, though, I still enjoyed my time with the season. I just like,
It was interesting seeing them in Lute's head during the song scene for Gravity.
yeah. And that's one of the reasons I said I felt like the first couple episodes hit the ground running. Like, the season has I think that's part of the thing too. The season sets the bar really, really high in the first two episodes, like with everything it's setting up, only to either not fully deliver on all of it or not deliver on it in the way you were hoping they would. And I think that's part of the
Mm.
disappointment. They set your expectations really high from the get go, and some of that stuff, like Lute's whole Gravity song, set really high expectations for her character for me for this season, and then it goes nowhere. Her whole thing
Yeah.
goes absolutely nowhere. So that is like, she's basically like, then the second half of the season relegated to a background character as the shift of
Yeah.
the season focuses. So it's definitely one of those things. It almost feels like they found out halfway through writing the season that they were renewed for three more and said, "Oh shit, well, we need to change things now." Is uh is a little bit of what it's giving in that aspect, you know. Brixie says he wholeheartedly agrees. Yeah. So I hope that the loot stuff comes into play more next season, and I really, really hope to see Alistair's villain turn, because when he gets really, really evil, he turns into an Eldritch abomination. Like, I want to see Alistair at 100% full, unhinged, unshackled power. Like, at
I think we
his
might get that.
maximum.
I've got theories to why um as to why Rosie was so powerful to be able to have a hold over Alistair.
Yeah, there's definitely something about her. Well, it's because they made a deal, and she was a
Got a
demon
well,
when he was
got
still
a
a human.
theory. Got a theory though. Do you think that Lilith is playing Rosie's strings?
Do I think an angel has a shackle over a demon? Maybe. I think the thing is, though, even though Alistair was super powerful, I think no matter how powerful you are as a demon, if you've made a deal with another demon and they have that shackle over you, there's fuck all you can do about it unless the deal is broken. Like, it's just magically binding, you know, and there's just no other way out of it. Power is completely irrelevant in that case. It is just like, it's a contract with no loopholes.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
So, like, Alistair, as powerful as he was, he would have never been able to stand up to Rosie as long as he was shackled by her because of the deal they made when he was still a human. And
Hmm.
is And it's only because the deal was technically broken by him no longer being the most powerful that he was able to break that shackle. But yeah, something else is definitely happening with those two behind the scenes. And I 100% believe with all my heart that there is history behind Alistair, or between Alistair and Lilith. And I actually think they foreshadow this in this season. Part of the reason is because after Alistair has his meeting with Rosie, where she's like, too bad, so sad. I own you, bitch. Do what I say." And he leaves, and he's like, "Oh, how am I gonna get out of this?" He's sitting on that bench, and
Better take this into my own hands.
this is when he gets the idea to go to Vox and make a deal with him, where he starts his whole plan. But if you notice the way the camera pans, it's a Dutch angle that shows the statue of a statue of Charlie, Lucifer, and Lilith behind him when he gets the idea, which leads me to
Oh.
they didn't just do that by accident. That's some form of like cinematic artistic foreshadowing. The fact that they choose to linger on a shadow of the Morningstar family as soon as Alistair gets his idea. And maybe it could just be hinting that he's like, "Oh, I can cash in on the deal I made with Charlie." And, if so, then whatever, I can understand that. Maybe a little disappointing. I choose to believe that it's foreshadowing future seasons. Um, you know,
Okay.
because it wasn't just Charlie, it was the statue of the whole family. There's definitely history between Alistair and Lilith. And
Hmm.
that's been hinted at more than once in the show, not just in that scene. Alistair seems to indicate that he knows Lilith, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, I wonder. And obviously Lilith has some kind of big secret, and I'm since the season ended with her calling Charlie back finally, obviously they're gonna finally expand on her in the next season, which I'm super excited to see where they go with that.
So I
Um,
I heard rumors of who is going to be voicing Lilith, and I saw it from multiple sources. Don't know how much truth there is to it. Honestly, it threw me for a loop. But the person in question is Terry Crews.
no, that's obviously not true. it's that was a joke.
Okay.
Um, I mean, it would be funny if Terry Crews voiced if Lilith gets mad and turns into like when Sarah goes full seraphim and has the thousand eyes, and then Terry Crews is the voice. That would be funny, but
Oh yeah,
that
definitely.
I'm 100% certain that was a joke.
Okay.
you know, maybe not though.
Maybe not. I
who
was like, if there
who
maybe
knows?
there may very well maybe that far fetched.
Not far fetched, but it's a very forward thinking, progressive show. Maybe they decide to make Lilith transgender.
Maybe. Huh.
Either way, though, I'm excited to see where they go with it, no matter what. Like, that's a huge cliffhanger to end on. There's a lot of open plot threads here. The Alistair stuff, the Angel Dust stuff, the Lilith stuff. They wrapped up the Vox thing for now, but I don't think we've seen the last of him either because he's
Now,
not dead.
Viv did say that Ox is going to continue to stay a relevant character all the way up into the end.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I just wonder if it's going to be one of those things where like he's a big deal villain in like the first in this season, but then in previous seasons he's relegated to like a minor annoyance that they have to deal with occasionally, kind of
Yes,
like
that's going to be
like
great.
like Maleficent in the Kingdom Hearts series. Like she's a big bad in the first game, and the rest of the game she's comic relief.
Yes,
like
yes.
uh because like when you have things that are much bigger and much badder, it makes the earlier villains seem less threatening in
Yes.
hindsight.
Yeah.
Especially maybe now that he knows that his people have had enough of his shit, he'll actually behave himself because he knows Valentino can just rip his head off anytime. Brooksy says either that or possibly anti-hero vibes, thinking like Vegeta or Piccolo in Dragon Ball. Both were initially villains. Yeah, they might do something where if Alistair becomes a villain and Charlie's like, oh, now we have to take him down. He's gotten too powerful. Like they reluctantly have to work together with Vox to go after him.
Hmm.
Something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
He said this was the anime season after all. he he said, "Well, good thing they have the power of friendship. Oh, then they can do like the SpongeBob with Plankton. They can teach Vox about the power of friendship, and they can sing
It's
him
for
the fun
friends who
song."
do stuff together. You is for you and me.
I honestly, I don't put it above. Like literally, the it starts with "Sorry" song that Charlie sings to Penchus in the first season is literally just that. Honestly,
Starts with sorry.
I'm kind of
Learn
I'm
from
like really
Charlie.
I know I'm watering it down here for the sake of making jokes, but at the end of the day, the concept is similar. you know, it really is. But that's kind of like I said. I still feel like some of it's intentional because as it's a serious show, but it's also a satirical show.
Yes.
It's definitely giving. We grew up watching Disney movies, and now we're kind of making fun of them.
Like in season one, I wasn't like a huge Serpentius fan, but that quickly changed with season two. Like he's a very likable character in season two.
He grows on you. Also,
Really did.
one of his egg boys in the first season has the funniest line in the whole show. The one about banks being ran by the shadow government or whatever it
Bank
was,
accounts are a scam ran by the shadow government.
or something like that. Yeah, great stuff. Um, all right. Well, if there's nothing else, I say that's good enough for me.
Hell yeah.
I got my thoughts out. I got my thoughts out.
Oh,
Do
that
either of
was.
you have anything else?
No, I'm fresh out.
All right. Well, that'll end it for this little spoiler cast. There's our thoughts. Thanks, Brooksy, for sticking around to give your thoughts through text, even though we were having technical issues. I'm assuming this will be fixed by the by next Saturday. So, um, anyways, though, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're on Spotify, you can leave comments there as well. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed it. Or you can email me at podcastoversoul@gmail.com. Nick is on most of the things as the Gaming Fiend 1, and Brooksy is Brooksy My Boy on Instagram. Thanks so much for listening once again, and we'll catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody.
Bye.